You know, the thing about bullies is they only stop when they hit a boundary they can't break. And for Veronica Wells, the HOA president of Crestview Lake Estates, my 60-foot yacht was that boundary. She tried to find me. She tried to steal it for her party guests. But the moment she laid a finger on my property, she sealed her own fate. I'm Robert Vance, a retired software exec, and 2 years ago, I bought a lakefront home, ready for peace. I bought my yacht, the Legacy, a symbol of the quiet life I'd earned. But Crestview Lake had its own currency, control. And Veronica Wells, 52, sharp, ruthless, and wearing more pearls than sense, was the dictator. She ruled the HOA board like it was her personal kingdom. My secret weapon, the one I kept buried for 2 years, was the marina deed. Everyone assumed the docks and the shoreline belonged to the HOA, but when I bought my property, I noticed the transfer had never been finalized by the HOA. I quietly called the original developer, and within weeks I purchased the entire Crestview Marina, all the docks. The fuel station, the shoreline, it all belonged to me. No one knew, and I liked it that way. The peace lasted until Veronica noticed the Legacy. She cornered me on the dock, her sunglasses flashing like warning lights. "That's new, Robert. Very community-spirited of you. You'll be hosting lake tours, I assume." I laughed, thinking it was a joke. "It wasn't. Boats docked in the Crestview Marina are shared assets of the HOA," she snapped. "Refuse, and you'll be fined daily." She actually tried to claim my private yacht was community property. That's how delusional her power had made her. The harassment began. First, it was passive-aggressive emails about the Marina Sharing Initiative. Then, the open manipulation. At the next HOA meeting, she stood at the podium, showing photos of the Legacy, spinning a false narrative about how my hoarded wealth was ruining community spirit. Despite my protestations, "I own the marina, Veronica." Her puppet board voted 70-30 in favor of the initiative. I sent a calm legal letter citing state property law. She retaliated instantly. Notice of noncompliance, $500 daily fine beginning immediately. The war escalated when her actions went from paperwork to personal sabotage. My turning point came when I found a strange smell on my dock late one night. My security camera footage showed Ethan Wells, Veronica's teenage son, along with 2 friends, prying open my yacht's engine hatch. They were trying to damage the boat. I was facing not just an entitled neighbor, but a criminal enterprise. But the final straw was the ultimate arrogance, Veronica's party. One Saturday, I walked out to find 40 of her guests setting up tables and speakers right on my dock. 2 teenagers were struggling to remove the lock on the Legacy's gate. She was trying to steal my yacht for her party. "Michael, you made it," she purred smugly. "We're just getting ready for Community Yacht Day. We start boarding at noon." I stopped right in front of her. My voice was calm, cold. "Veronica, I'm going to say this once. Get off my dock. You and everyone else here are trespassing. This is private property." She crossed her arms, chin raised. "You wouldn't dare call the police on your neighbors." "We'll see." I pulled out my phone, dialed the county sheriff's office, and put the call on speaker. 20 minutes later, 2 sheriff's cruisers rolled through the gate. Officer Reyes flipped through the thick folder I handed him. The deed, the purchase agreement, the county records. "Ma'am," he said to Veronica, "these documents are legitimate. This marina is not HOA property. Right now, you and your group are on private land without permission. You also caused property damage by cutting this lock." The sheer public humiliation was complete. Her face turned pale. Her guests scattered like pigeons. She stood there broken until the very end. "You'll regret this," she hissed as she finally left. "You've made an enemy of the HOA," but I smiled. The war wasn't over, but the final strategy was in play. Veronica didn't just walk away. She retaliated. Using a tiny loophole buried in the HOA map, she erected a fence and hired guards, blocking the only road access to my marina. I had to park half a mile away and hike through the woods just to get to my own boat. She wasn't seeking justice. She was seeking surrender. Then came the true evidence of her crimes. After the yacht incident, my security cameras caught Ethan Brown and his friends trying to damage the Legacy's engine again. It was felony-level vandalism. I took the footage straight to the sheriff's office. It was time to unleash my final weapon. Daniel and I drafted the termination notice. We weren't playing defense anymore. We were attacking the source of her power. Citing repeated harassment and criminal conduct, I revoked the HOA's lease. I changed the locks and hung a new sign. Private property. Access revoked. The tide turned instantly. 23 families who kept their boats there suddenly couldn't reach them. The panic was magnificent. Neighbors who once worshipped Veronica were now swarming her house, demanding answers. For the first time, her actions had direct, painful consequences for them. I walked into the emergency HOA meeting with Daniel. The tension was unbearable. Veronica stood there, pale but trying to project defiance. She tried to rally a vote to reverse my termination. I interrupted her, put my laptop on the podium, and played the security footage of her son's felony vandalism for the entire community. The gasps were louder than any applause she'd ever received. "Your son vandalized my yacht twice," I said, closing the laptop, "and instead of apologizing, you printed flyers calling me a liar. You think you run this community, but all you've done is destroy it." The board finally had enough. A motion of no confidence was raised. The final vote was devastating, 89% in favor of her immediate removal. She was voted out, disgraced, and shattered, but the final justice was legal. The sheriff's office pressed felony vandalism charges against her son, and a full audit revealed the ultimate betrayal. Veronica had embezzled nearly $60,000 in HOA maintenance fees to pay for her private expenses. The woman who weaponized fines against others was herself a common thief. The fallout was final. Veronica was charged with embezzlement and conspiracy. Her husband filed for divorce. She listed her house and left Crestview Lake Estates in utter shame. I settled the civil lawsuit with the new, humbled board for $50,000 in damages, and I gave them a new marina agreement, fair use for fair neighbors. Today, the lake is quiet again. I sit on the dock of the Legacy, pouring a glass of whiskey. I'm no longer angry. I am simply satisfied. I didn't just fight a bully. I fought an entire mindset, the idea that authority always trumps the truth. And I won. Because sometimes, the only way to deal with the entitled is to remind them who truly owns the dock. I want to hear from you. What do you think was the most satisfying moment of Sophia's fall? Her son's arrest, or her embezzlement being exposed? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.